Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fellow gamers, welcome back to the wonderful world of Paperhats, where we're here at a project that some of you may recognize from somewhere around a year ago. We started this. It's an ocean monument. We started draining the outside of this, and thank you for telling me that, server. We started draining the outside of this, and just recently we finished it up. So now that all of this is drained, it is time to start work on what we actually want to build in this area, and that's going to require a lot of work. Starting off with, we need to flatten out all this outside area to get down to this level right here. So let's quickly do that. As you can see behind me, flattening has been completed, and it took a lot less time than I thought it would, but we are not done with this monument just yet. There is still stuff that needs to be done. And next on our list is draining out the inside of the monument, a project I've already started work on just a little bit. If we head inside of here, you'll see there's a couple of rooms that have been dried out, but there is still quite a bit more to do. As you can see, this room here still has water along with a lot of the rest of the monument. So we have quite the task ahead of us with that. Might as well jump right into it. And as we approach the monument entrance, you may notice that we have done more than just drain the monument. We have emptied the entire thing of all its rooms, and it is now hollow, which will make it a lot easier if we ever decide to put something inside of it. But now we are ready to start work on the outside, at least mostly. We do still need the materials, so let's hop into a quick little montage of resource gathering. We have gathered the resources needed for this project. However, I am not entirely sure if it will in fact be enough. We have quite a few shulker boxes full of items here. As you can see, there is plenty of items, but this is a pretty big build. But we can always go get more. With this block palette that I've chosen, I've tried to stay somewhat similar to the original colors of the monument, those blues and greens, which you can find in the cyan and the warped wood, along with the copper and the dark prismarine. And then I've also added highlight colors in there, sandstone and orange with the acacia and the normal copper. And I have a feeling it's going to look really good. I've tested out what I want to do in a creative world, so I think really the only thing left to do is start building. I think you guys are really gonna like this. Let's quit dilly-dallying and hop right into a time lapse. The main building is complete, and in my opinion, it looks pretty good. But you know what can make this look about, I don't know, 10 times better? If the surrounding area around it wasn't just a plain of sand. So I think it's time that we take a note out of Tack's book and we add some foliage, some bushes, some trees around this place in some little gardens. Now I have a sort of idea of how I want to lay out these gardens. Basically my plan is right here in this center area is going to be a nether portal, and then from there we'll have these go out in sort of a wavy pattern like this, and then eventually they will line up and just start rotating with this here. So this would go like that, then we go to 3, and it would just continue to progress around in a circle. But I do believe that I don't have this 100% correct. It's going to take a little bit of doing, but I think it's going to be worth it, because I think these gardens will just make it pop way better. And then in these areas right here, I think what I'll do probably is have gardens here that extend down to about here, and then they'll, I don't know, they'll go into like a triangle shape or something, and then like we'll have a path come along here, and then they'll merge together, 2 different paths, and then the path will just go around in a circle around the whole place. But there's only one way to know if this plan of action will work, and that is to put it into action. Don't expect anything spectacular, after all. I do specialize in the technical side. There has been so many of these dudes, what the heck. Anyways, let's get into this. All the gardens have been laid out, and I've even put these little shroom lights underneath, and it makes it look amazing at night. In fact, I'm gonna roll a little bit of a replay over top of this audio just so you can see what it looks like at night. Pretty cool, right? But now that we have the gardens laid out, that means we can start work on actually filling these out with flowers, grass, trees, and such. And in fact, I have already started work gathering some of the materials, and by gathering I mean I bought a bunch of stuff from Tack, because she is the only person on the server who sells plants in this much variety. And also a thank you to DrJankovich, who said I could raid his storage system for a couple of items, so I stole some mushrooms and end rods. But other than that, we're on our own for resources. Now before we start work on actually filling out these gardens, you may notice in the background is I laid out the outline of the nether portal. Now on the nether roof, I've already set up the portal. Let me actually grab the flint and steel. So we're just going to light this on camera, and I think I made it too big. Hold on. Alright, I was hoping that first one would work, but I've adjusted the height just a little bit. This one should work correctly. Yes, indeed it has. So we're just gonna have to remove that little bit on the top, but let's go through and see if this links up correctly. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. And it does indeed link up to the correct portal. Let's go back through and see if it links up this direction. It does. We are so good at the game. Ooh, look at that. Look at that lighting. Oh, so beautiful. Anyways, let's dump that obsidian back into there. Oh, and the soul soil as well. Almost forgot about that. And let's, first of all, let's go sleep. Now, we can move on. We can start work on filling out these gardens. I think I'm just going to do a quick demo of one of these sides, and if I think it looks good, then we'll hop into a time lapse and see how that all turns out. So, I'll see you once I'm done with the demo, and let's go. And we have done the little beta test section, and it is looking fantastic, if I do say so myself. And I do, because I think this is probably one of my favorite things that I've built in a while. This just looks really, really cool. I love the colors. And this pathway, I also really love the pathway. I wasn't originally planning on demoing the pathway along with these, but this really didn't take that long, and the pathways, it just kind of felt like this looked really good now, so the floor sort of looked like it needed something, and I really like the pathways. And I'm going to show you guys my favorite little part of this is this right here, and my favorite way to view it is through the world map, which is a client-side mod that I use, and I just love the way the lake looks in the corner right there. It just looks really cool. I love the lake, and I think that we're gonna probably have to have some sort of water feature on most of these outside ones. In fact, we may have multiple. Like, this could be the only one that has just one water feature, and we could do like something big in this one, like maybe there's a huge like lake at the back of this, or maybe on one of these, I don't know how we do it, but maybe there's a waterfall. I don't think I want to do a waterfall though, because these are generally pretty flat, and I kept this one flat, and I know it makes it feel a little bit two-dimensional when you start focusing in on the ground, but I feel like it works fine for what I want it to do, and I don't want to do too much extra work, but I do really like how it looks currently, so I am not mad about any of that. I do think we need more water features though, because they look really cool, and they add a bunch of character to these little side areas. Now that we have the beta testing done with this side area here, you know what time it is. It's time-lapse time, baby, and we are going to pound out all of these in one mega time-lapse. So ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Things are looking beautiful, if I do say so myself, and if we do a fly above, you'll see things are looking beautiful everywhere, all the way around. All the gardens and all the paths are complete, as you just saw in that wonderful little time lapse, and I could not be happier. Things are looking so good. I love these gardens. I love the water features. I did multiple all around here in all of the outside areas. They all have at least one water feature. None of the inside ones have one, though I did think about it. There just was not enough space to make it a feasible option, but I do really love how this turned out. And if we hop into world map mode, you can see my favorite view of all the top-down view. But yeah, I could not be more proud of how this turned out. I think this is probably my favorite build I have ever made. Ooh, look at that. Look at the sun coming down right in between the pillars. Hello, slimes. That looks really cool. Hey, yeah, this build looks just absolutely amazing. The greenery, the beautiful oranges and blue greens that are in the main building. This just, oh, it just looks so cool. I love the lights underneath the garden in the building. But now that all of that is built up, that does bring this build to a terrific end, because how can it not be terrific when it looks this good? And you know what that means. When the build comes to an end, so does the video. Thank you all for watching. If you want to see more cool stuff like this, then subscribe and leave a like if you did in fact enjoy this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.